What's next for Roman Reigns? What's next for the undisputed WWE Universal Champion who just last week on SmackDown got presented with a brand new design for his now one unified undisputed Universal Championship? And given the events that transpired on last week's SmackDown, it seems that once again the Tribal Chief, in this case, will go to London, in England, to Money in the Bank, and he will not defend his championship because all things seem to point towards a tag team match involving him tagging with Solo Sikoa to face off against the Usos in a tag team match that obviously WWE is gonna promote as the main event, as a main event, just like they did with Night of Champions, where they had 3 main events where there was really only one. The main event is the last match on the card, but in this case, I believe that's gonna be the final match at Money in the Bank as well, and it has to be at this point because it is amazing. And I don't get tired of saying this. The Bloodline storyline is the best thing that has happened to WWE in the past 10, 15, 20 years. The longevity it has had, the twists, the turns, the dramatic sequences told by this group of performers, of wrestlers. What we saw last Friday night on SmackDown with the Godfather-like-esque scene between Reigns and Jimmy Uso. That was incredible. That was fantastic. I got goosebumps watching that unfold on WWE television. And we're far from over. It's far from over. Because like I said, Money in the Bank, this tag team match between family members, I don't think that's going to be the end of it. I don't think it's going to be a dissolution. I think it's just going to be one step closer, one step further in the breaking up of the Bloodline once and for all. But Roman Reigns, ever since he returned back in August of 2020 with Paul Heyman by his side, has done something that not a lot of people in the past have been able to do, and that is elevate every single star around him. Every single star he interacts with. In the beginning stages of his run as Universal Champion, as the Tribal Chief with Paul Heyman by his side, he wasn't able to do that with a Bray Wyatt or the Fiend at that point, with the Braun Strowman, with the Finn Balor, with the Cesaro. He wasn't able to bring those guys up. But this entire Bloodline storyline, thanks to, in my opinion, Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn was a catalyst in how this storyline really took a turn for the best, and it became the best story told in professional wrestling today. Because now, if you look at Monday Night Raw, if you look on SmackDown, people care about Solo Sikoa on his own. People care about the Usos on their own. People care about Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, not only because they are the undisputed WWE Tag Team Champions, but because they interacted and they some way beat the Bloodline at some point in their careers. People still care about them because of what Roman Reigns and the Bloodline did for them. The same exact thing can be said about Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. He has never been more over with the WWE audience than he is right now. And that is all thanks to the Bloodline, thanks to the 1,000-day plus reign of the Tribal Chief on SmackDown with Roman Reigns. Not only that, Imperium, Judgment Day, those two are pretty much stables, groups that are pretty detached from the Bloodline storyline, but because Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes are involved in this entire story between Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio, WWE's storytelling, psychology, character development is on another level for the first time in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. That is as simple as I can put it. And it all starts at the top with Roman Reigns as the undisputed Universal Champion. Now, SummerSlam is coming up in Detroit. I believe it takes place in July or August this year, somewhere around those dates. I don't have the exact date at hand, but by that point, Roman Reigns should defend his Universal Championship. And to all the fans who say that he doesn't defend his title as much, okay, he earned that. He negotiated it to be that way in storyline. He negotiated it to be that way once he beat the WWE Champion in the main event of the most stupendous WrestleMania, when he beat Brock Lesnar and became undisputed champion. In storyline, Roman Reigns negotiated his way into not appearing as often. Prior to that, the Universal Championship was defended pretty much on every single pay-per-view ever since he won it at Payback in 2020. So it's not a matter of, it's not in the same vein of a Brock Lesnar who wins the Universal Championship, who wins the WWE World Heavyweight Championship back in 2014 or 2016, wherever you want to place it. And then he's away for 2-3 months at a time, and then comes back just to defend his title. It's not in the exact same vein, because Roman Reigns defended his championship against Jey Uso, against Cesaro, against Daniel Bryan, against Edge, against Finn Balor, against Kevin Owens, against Sami Zayn, and so many more. So with that said, this entire storyline, I really wanted the phenomenal one, AJ Styles, to be the one to challenge Roman Reigns, to be the next challenger to the Tribal Chief's reign at the top. But this entire story leads me to believe that we could have Jey Uso defend his brother's honor against Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at SummerSlam in Detroit, Michigan. Because it's the only way to keep this entire Bloodline story going and running on all cylinders. You can't just have the tag team main event match between the Usos and Sikoa and Reigns at Money in the Bank and then move on from that and have a Lashley or a Cross or an AJ Styles challenge Reigns for the title at SummerSlam. That cools it off for a bit, much like it did right after WrestleMania. But we'll just have to wait and see. In the meantime, tonight on SmackDown, we get all the fallout from what happened, what transpired last week between the Usos and Roman Reigns. And I'm telling you this right now, I'm counting down the hours, the minutes, until SmackDown starts tonight on Fox to see what's next. What's the next chapter in this entire storyline for the Bloodline. So with that said, what do you think is going to happen with the entire Bloodline stable? Who do you think is going to be next to challenge for Roman Reigns' undisputed WWE Universal Championship? What do you think about the new design of the belt? It's pretty much copy and paste. It's just gold. I think we've seen this before with Snoop Dogg at WrestleMania with his title. Pretty lackluster if you ask me, but again, that's not up to me. That's WWE's way of designing and thinking. So with that said, leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comments section below. Tune in later on tonight to Fox for another episode of SmackDown. I believe we also have another episode of Rampage later on tonight, so tune in to TNT for that as well. I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.